today, just a few. Yeah. My other interviews happen on other days. Those were non-stop. This is good. You're my fourth interview, so not bad.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay, my first question is, has there been a metaphorical U-turn in your life, and how have you dealt with it?
I think the biggest U-turn in my life was when I wanted to not be an actor and not be an actor and not be an actor and just not be an actor. And I took a big U-turn and here I am. I'm an actor now. So I think that was perhaps the actual biggest U-turn. Caught everyone by surprise because they genuinely, all my life, everyone thought I would be an actor. And then I really didn't want to. And then I went off to study something else. And I was like, okay, I guess.
But you went to film school, right?
I went to film school to be a director. That happened. That's because I loved films. I don't know why I was running away from acting for so long. But yeah, so when I finally took that U-turn, everyone was like, really? You're like, just when we stopped believing that it would happen. Yeah.
But do you have that director in you as well because you studied?
I mean, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit, but I try and suppress it because I'm also a very big director's actor. So
you cannot clash. Yeah,
not at all. I totally believe in, being directed and trying to make the most of my director's vision.
Okay. We'll also talk about spooky stories and, because the trailer has a lot of those things.
Yes.
So first of all, Priyanka Chopra's compliment to you. I think everybody would have asked you, but it's such a, so for an actor like you who's growing, what does it mean? Because she is the icon that we all know of, and she picked you.
It means everything to know that out of everyone she could have picked, she picked me. It's the most special feeling. It's the most motivating feeling, and it's one of those things that an actor doesn't even dream of because you don't even think that, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm like you said, I've probably been asked this a lot, which I have been in every interview actually. And in each interview, I'm trying to find how to describe how it felt, but I don't know because it was a mixture of every feeling. It was just overwhelming and just wonderful.
What was your first Priyanka Chopra film?
My first Priyanka Chopra film, I mean, must have been good question. The first film I remember being like, I think that's when my obsession started, was Krish. That's when my obsession with both Priyanka and Hrithik started. That was the beginning of it. Okay. But I'm sure there were many films before that I loved and seen and admired. But that I remember being a turning point. Because after that, I remember I told my mom, I was like, I want her autograph. And my mother was like, okay, like I'll try like, I've never been like that before or after that, but she was one of those people that I have fangirled over forever.
Yeah. Right. Of course, she is she's a lot. And the fact that she reinvented herself and she went abroad, she made a name for the story is very, very inspiring.
Incredible. She's just always getting better and better and bigger and better. It's incredible. And it's just such wonderful, and she represents India so wonderfully globally. She's just a force.
Yes, incredible. She's okay. Now coming back to U-turn and the films, have you had any spooky experiences, and what have they been?
I've had many spooky experiences. Problem is that I'm very bad at summarizing a story. So if you have to tell a story, you have to tell it properly. So I'll give you the overall gist of it. When I lived in New York, basically, my apartment was haunted. So I lived with a ghost for a year. Realized 6 months in that it was haunted. And then I had another 6 months to live there. And I was like, I don't want to live in this home. But I was in New York and you're tied to these very hard lease agreements. And it was a mess. But so that was perhaps my longest ghost experience because it was always scary.
So what was it? What did you experience?
So to summarize it, it's actually a long, detailed story. But to summarize it, we would hear all these footsteps that were coming from within the home that wasn't us. There was once where I saw like this weird thing go by me, like in like a weird like flash almost. And at the same time that I saw that, my friend did this. And I thought she had also seen it. And turns out that she had felt something hit her, as though something runs by you, and sort of like bangs into you. At the same time, I saw, so like all these like random creepy things. the footsteps were the scariest because we were living in an old building. And we had sort of convinced ourselves that the footsteps we were hearing was coming from the upstairs apartment. Until 6 months and we realized that it was not coming from the upstairs apartment, and it actually was inside. And it was so scary because every night you'd wake up and you'd hear those footsteps, and it was just terrifying.
Figure out whether it was a male or a female.
The ghost? No. So okay, so my friends make a lot of fun of me for this, but I feel like the ghost was a woman because the energy felt feminine. Now, my friends have made a lot of fun of me. They were like, so what do you mean? So like, if I put someone next to you and I make you shut your eyes, you'd be able to tell me if it's a masculine or feminine energy, so, but I believe it was a woman, but we have no way of knowing that. That we did not go into checking.
It's interesting you talk about energy because Tabu, who plays your mother in your debut film, is all about that.
Yeah.
It's so. I mean, it's such a unique character.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, about your association with ZEE5 and this film. So tell me about it.
So my association with the film and ZEE5, or my association with the film from
film and ZEE5, yeah.
Sorry, ZEE5 Global. Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry?
ZEE5 Global, sorry.
Okay, ZEE5 Global. Okay.
Yeah.
So edit it again? Will you edit it? Okay. Your association with ZEE5 Global and the film.
When this film came to me, I knew it was a special film. I loved the narration. I was gripped throughout. And I knew that this was a film I wanted to do. Post that, we went into shooting it, and we went into, really exploring this world and exploring how we were going to create this film, which on a script level, I loved, Then once the film was ready, I remember watching the film and really enjoying the pace of it, the energy of it, the thrill of it, everything fell into place really, really well. Yeah. And when ZEE5 Global took this film on, it was like everything actually turned out really perfect because U-Turn is actually one of my massier films. And I'm really excited because I think ZEE5 Global's reach is exactly what this film needs. And I think their audience is going to really, really, really enjoy it. So I think everything in this film has sort of fallen together really well. And I think it's going to really work out very wonderfully because I think it's found its correct home in ZEE5 Global.
Right. Also tell me, are you fond of this genre, the thriller, the horror? Are you fond of it?
I am very fond of thrillers. Horrors, I am petrified.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I'm a big scaredy cat when it comes to horror normally. I don't like watching it, but in a thrilling sense, I enjoy it.
Right. So because I was going to ask you, is there a favorite ghost story of yours?
Oh my God, no, I can't. The joke is I've seen every horror movie. I've seen all of them because everyone keeps forcing me into it. So I watch it and I'm engaged and I like it. It's the after effects that I don't like very much. I don't like when I want to go to sleep and I can't get that out of my head. That's the bit I don't enjoy. I don't like when it makes me feel anxious and unsettled in my own home. So but I thoroughly enjoy it. As a viewing experience, it's great fun.
Yeah. Also, the fact that a lot of ghost stories across India or across the world are largely based on roads or haunted houses or hotels, whatever. Yeah. This is more of a road story. I mean, we don't know whether it's a ghost story or not. We'll know it because we'll just seen the trailer. So what about that? That whole thing about the road and something happening spooky is very, very central to a lot of cinema. And this looks like that.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I haven't thought of it that way. But our film is, our entire story is based on that flyover. Everything happens around that. So, it is interesting that it all leads back to some road or some home. I haven't thought of that. I don't have a response to it because it's not something that crossed my mind earlier.
Just an observation. It's not even a Okay, I'm going to give you 3 statements and you have to tell me how do you react to it? And is there an alternative to that word? Okay, these are 3 cliches used for people in the film industry. Thinking actress.
Thinking actress? What do you mean by thinking actress? I've not even heard this term.
Yeah, so people who are intellectually more stimulated by the roles that they pick up are called thinking actors.
Oh, really?
What is an alternative? So I'm giving you these cliches, and then you have to give me alternatives for these cliches. Thinking actors is a cliche.
Like another word for it?
Yes. What would you react to?
I think if more meaty, thoughtful parts are written out for women, all actors will be thinking actresses.
Okay. Eye candy.
Eye candy. I don't know what I'm supposed to say to these.
What do you react? Is there an alternative for these words? Is what I'm asking you.
Eye candy can be. I don't know. I don't know how to respond to these. An alternative for eye candy can be.
Okay.
Because any alternative also I'm thinking of is not a very nice word. Yeah. So I want to be positive about it. But I don't think there's anything wrong in also being eye candy. I mean, good for you. It's not easy looking like that.
Yeah. Item song.
Item song. Yeah, again, like I don't know what alternative word to give to it.
Dance number, or it could be anything.
Dance number. No, but item song is a very particular type of dance number. You know, so you can't actually just say dance number. Dance number, so it is. An item song is a dance number. But an item song is a very specific term for a very specific type of dance number. So, see, I feel like all of these words, and I might be wrong, but I feel like all of these words, if said in a positive context, can be very empowering words. There's nothing wrong with an item song. It's a woman that is in her sexual element in some way, out there being hot, being, you know, a certain way in a song. I think there's obviously something that resonates with it. You know, I feel like as long as it's not the entirety of a character, I think as long as it's not the entirety of a character, you know, an item song can be incredible.
Okay. No, these are the only three things I wanted to ask you. And then, of course, tell me about your during the making of the film and your relationship with your co-stars. How it was it made during the lockdown, or was it made later?
Basically, it was made right after the second lockdown had opened up. So the pandemic, the main lockdown had opened up, but we were still in you know, it was a very sticky situation still. We shot in Chandigarh for a month and a half, 45 days. We were in Chandigarh shooting the film. Basically, almost finished it. Only a small portion was left that we shot later. But yeah, it was for those 45 days, everyone on that set was only thinking about U-turn. We were working long hours. Everyone was putting their hearts and souls into it. We were a very young, the crew was also very young, the director, the DOP, just everyone on the set there was lots of young energy. But everyone was just completely invested in the making of this film. So there wasn't much else other than U-turn that went on in our lives for those 45 days. It was physically, mentally draining, exhausting, but rewarding.
Okay. And when is it releasing, if you can just announce
28th April. U-turn is releasing on the 28th of April on Z5 Global.
Wonderful. So thank you very much for speaking to me, and we'll watch the film and we'll post a review as well.
Thank you so much. I look forward to it.
Thank you, Manju.
Thank you, Manju.